Right now, the most watched TV show in the US is The Big Bang Theory. The most expensive, Game of Thrones. But what about the longest running primetime show apart from news? It isn't The Real World or Law & Order. Nope, not even The Simpsons. It's a show that's hardly changed since it started in 1989. Yep, it's Cops, the reality show where they follow police around with cameras. And really, that's kind of all there is to it. But it stayed on TV for over 3 decades. Why? The show has plenty of action. But a team of producers from the podcast Running from Cops found that the driving force behind the show's popularity isn't visible on camera. It's what's happening behind it.
Picket team leaders, please join the
In
line.
1988, television writers across the U.S. went on strike.
Producers cannot deny the strike is having a negative impact.
It shows no sign of ending.
That meant TV channels started looking for shows that wouldn't require union writers.
Welcome to Fox.
Fox had recently started a TV channel, and Stephen Chao was an executive in charge of finding new material.
Fox Network didn't really have much of a personality at that stage. And so I was like, okay, here's your chance. If you can make something good, we'll promote it on the stations, and if it's really good, it'll get drafted by the network.
At Fox, he took a meeting with John Langley, who was selling an idea for unscripted TV.
He showed me this tape of a live drug bust, and it was fantastic.
Come here, take her.
After seeing the material, Fox signed on to make Cops, and this footage comes from the first episode.
This is where they smoke their crack.
That emotion was so powerful, and then you saw the emotional poof that it gave to you, you'd go, okay, I'm not going anywhere else.
Go! Get your hands down! Get down!
From the start, the show's raw style made this a cheap production.
Clear!
It didn't require actors or writers, and the entire show was shot on handheld cameras.
We have a 99 on a white male.
Cops wasn't fancy. And when it premiered in 1989, it didn't look like anything else on TV.
You're in love with me?
You Bill Collins!
Jello pudding snacks.
Police! Get on the ground!
Yeah!
Cops was a gritty look at crime during the American war on drugs. A few months after Cops premiered, President Bush went on live TV holding a bag of crack cocaine.
It's as innocent looking as candy, but it's turning our cities into battle zones, and it's murdering our children.
Cops was a full dose of reality, with cameras showing the real thing up close and personal.
This felt like you were with the cops and they weren't hiding any secrets from you.
Stop resisting, lay on your stomach.
But that feeling doesn't match the reality behind the scenes.
In fact, that was kind of part of the art of John, which is he made you feel like you were inside it. But in fact, it was, on the other hand, approved by the police department.
Since the first season of the show, which was shot in Florida, the police and cops have used that control to build their public image.
We're here just to look for some drugs and clean up the bad people off the street. You don't mind that, do you?
Nick Navarro, the sheriff of Broward County, was featured that first season.
Sheriff Nick Navarro was ultimately anticipating that he would want to be reelected, and he thought that if I use cops, what a good platform that would be to get me more votes.
Cops made Navarro the county's showbiz sheriff, and although he lost the next election, his popularity gave producers a model for convincing other agencies to go on the show.
There was an adversarial relationship between the news and police. They never did any stories about what went right.
The next season, Cops moved to Portland, Oregon, where they featured Sergeant John Bonnell.
How heavily involved are you in narcotic trafficking?
There was no better way than to spread the message about drugs. And I think we did it quite successfully. And we wouldn't have done it quite successfully if it wasn't for Cops.
In the years after Cops began filming in Portland, videotape of Rodney King being beaten by police sparked outrage in Los Angeles. And rioting swept through the city the next year. 2 years later, Cops hit the streets of LA, where they had been trying to convince the LAPD to let them film for years, and didn't get access until a newly appointed police chief invited them.
No, I don't know if you've ever seen this gun before, but this is the gun.
At the time, a member of the mayor's police commission defended his decision to let Cops film, saying that the department, since the Rodney King incident in particular, has had a very negative reputation, so it made sense for the department to receive some positive coverage. Over the next 3 decades, this pattern continued. cops moved from city to city, helping shape a positive image for law enforcement agencies throughout the country. In 2013, police in Omaha, Nebraska were fired for using excessive force. The next year, the police chief invited cops to come film. While in town, a crew member was killed during a police shootout, and the chief was asked why he brought cops to Omaha in the first place.
We had some rough times, and we had an issue that occurred about 1.5 years ago that we've overcome, and we've become a very professional, strong organization. And I wanted cops to come in so that they can see the Omaha Police Department.
In 2014, killings by officers in Salinas, California led to protests.
To send a message to Salinas police after 4 officer-involved shootings this year.
The next year, Cops was filming in Salinas.
You need to be smarter about your choices, okay?
After Cops wrapped filming in Salinas, the police chief described the show as a helpful recruitment tool for people to see their hometown cops be on a national television show. For decades, Cops has allowed police to control their appearance on TV while they try to achieve their own goals in reality, whether that's gaining votes, cleaning up a reputation, or recruiting new officers. But while police officers continued to use this model, many of the viewers that watched Cops in the 1990s had stopped tuning in. After 25 years, Fox eventually canceled Cops, and it moved to a new channel. But that doesn't mean viewers are losing interest in police-sanctioned reality TV.
This is Live PD.
Live PD is a TV show on A&E where camera crews embed with police units to broadcast live events as they're happening.
Show me your hands.
When the show launched in 2016,
Watch Cops live.
The trailer responded directly to calls for increased police accountability.
Being able to see exactly what the police are doing and how they're doing it is beneficial to everyone.
The format of Live PD makes it possible for police officers to come off as less polished than on Cops.
I'm gonna date you. Get on your face. Get the in your face.
Doing it live might be a way to increase transparency, but at its core, Live PD is just another way for police to shape an identity on television.
We have narcotics.
Like Cops, law enforcement agencies invite Live PD to come film with them, and it's that connection that will continue to be the driving force behind these shows. In 2018, the most viewed show on DVR was Live PD. Hey, thanks for watching. In this video, we worked with a podcast called Running from Cops in order to make this happen. And if you have any questions about what happens after the cameras stop rolling, the stories behind people who sign releases to be on the show, or anything else related to Cops, then you have to check them out. They spent over a year researching the show, traveling the country to interview people who have been on it, and also compiled data about how the show portrays crime in the US. It's called Running from Cops, and it's available on iTunes or wherever else you get your podcasts. Thanks.